Welcome in. And today I'm going to describe to you how I would add Quicksilver as a DPS in Marvel Rivals. People have said for a while this character cannot be added to the game properly. That this character would be absolutely busted, would change the game in horrible ways. That it couldn't be balanced, that it couldn't be done. Well, I did it. Hopefully you guys actually like my design. I feel like I did a really good job at being really lore accurate to him, while also keeping it in the Marvel Rivals little area and sphere. But yeah, I try to keep the numbers as balanced as possible. I would say he's definitely not overtuned, like let's say a Daredevil, a Black Cat, a Cyclops, a Phoenix for DPS, but he also isn't super underpowered. And as I go on, I will explain more and more why I made the decisions I made. Now let's go in. HP 250. He's going to be a very fast character, so he's going to be more fragile. Movement speed of 8 meters a second, and the baseline for most characters is 6 meters a second. Works well with his speed, and make him lore accurate. Primary, back at ya. Each primary attack has a range of 8 meters. Quicksilver will dash forward, punching his target, then going back 8 meters to where he was before. This is a good way to, I think, incorporate his speed into his normal primary attacks, other than this going up to a person holding left click, let's say an Iron Fist, just punching and punching. The hit interval will be once every 0.4 seconds, dealing 45 damage per hit. For comparison, Hela's primary is 70 damage per 0.5 seconds. So, his primary is faster than any other character's primary, if I believe. At least in terms of hit scan, because I know Punisher you can like shoot almost instantly, but still. In terms of hit scan and punching and everything, even melee characters, he is the fastest character. 0.4 seconds per hit, so his damage is going to be lower to 45. Alongside his speed when he's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Again, I lowered the damage a little bit more because of that, because he's hard to hit. His secondary, try to keep up, and a 10-meter range using your secondary launches you at whatever you're looking at, and if you hit an enemy, they receive 55 damage, are slowed by 15% by 2 seconds, and are knocked back by 2 meters. This ability travels at 75 meters a second. BP's dash is 50 meters a second, again playing into his speed. Him getting close to you benefits him and the enemy team because he is super vulnerable. He doesn't gain any shields in his kit. He doesn't gain any extra survivability other than his speed. And again, he's faster than BP because he is Quicksilver. Between each dash, there is a half a second cooldown. So you can't be like BP and travel like interdimensionally in half a second using like 40 dashes. And the ability has 3 charges, each charge with a 14-second cooldown. So you need to plan this accordingly and not use everything immediately. This isn't another dive where you can press every button and get a kill. Because let's say you use all 3 of those dashes, so in about a second and a half you can use these, and so it's 165 damage. You can't one-shot combo with that. Now the 15% slow for 2 seconds, that's because you're getting rammed hard by a speedster. You're gonna feel a little slow, and you're knocked back 2 meters because you're getting just knocked back by a speedster. Shift ability, you didn't see that coming? A reference to Age of Ultron, the Avengers movie, where he says that to Hawkeye after he rams into him. The ability isn't on a cooldown, instead on a meter, with a charge of 100. Quicksilver begins to recharge this meter after 3 seconds of not using it, granting 10 charge a second. To use this ability, Quicksilver needs to be on the ground, he strikes a running pose, and the player's camera quickly flies through the map at 20 meters a second for a max of 100 meters. You cannot float the camera in the air and go to high ground. You actually have to walk and zoom around with a camera to the location you want. Keep in mind the 20 meters is over double the speed of Luna, so you'll get to the location when you can. And each meter is 1 charge. I forgot if I said that already. After clicking confirm on the area the camera is in, Quicksilver will run to that location. The dash takes half a second to complete. While in the running pose, Quicksilver can still be attacked and killed, but gains a 20% damage reduction. Meaning it's a risk and reward type thing. And since you're going to be probably AFK in that spot for about a few seconds, you'll be pretty vulnerable. Now, Ultimate, Sweet Dreams. I would say his ult is probably the most controversial of his kit so far, but I think it really matches and can be really fun. especially when other Quicksilvers interact with it. I'll get to that later. Ultimate Sweet Dreams, which also is a reference to the Fox X-Men when he saves the mansion and School for the Gifted with Charles Xavier. After Apocalypse inadvertently almost blows the whole thing up. Well, he did. Quicksilver reaches into his speed, focusing. Time slows down around him while he remains the same, meaning he's going so fast it looks like everyone around him is going slower. All enemies and teammates are given a 60% slow, including through their aim and ability animations, but they can still attack and use abilities. For instance, Bucky's E is a 35% slow, just for instance when you get hit by it. In order for anybody to break out of the slow, they need to use an ultimate ability, wait until the ultimate ends, or get below 25% HP. Meaning if you're already below 25% HP, any ults doesn't affect you. The ultimate has a 30-meter radius on top of Quicksilver, moving along with him. The ultimate lasts for 8 seconds, so a lot lower than a lot of DPS ults like Punisher, I think is like 12 or 14 seconds. While using the ult, Quicksilver gains 2 meters a second to his base speed, raising it from 8 meters to 10 meters a second, and all of his cooldowns refresh upon activation. So you could be by spawn. Activate your ultimate, use your shift ability to zoom to point, where everyone then would receive his 60% slow. The ultimate ability costs 2,800 to use, tied for the second least in the game with Wolverine and Moon Knight, but that's because he doesn't do crazy amount of damage to charge it like the other two. And if you're asking, yes, I do think those two ultimate abilities need nerf in terms of cost. And for instance, with his ult, you could use your shift to go to enemy spawn and slow down enemy strange portal to point. Just the abilities and the possibilities are endless with this ult. Now his team ups, charge it up. This team up is with Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man. Quicksilver is the anchor of this team up. Unknowing to Quicksilver himself though, Rocket attaches a device to Quicksilver's leg, granting overcharge to Rocket's tech. Anytime Quicksilver uses an ability that uses his super speed, Rocket's res beacon begins firing out armor packs worth 100 every 2 seconds, along double the jump boost packs for the next 6 seconds. This ability has a cooldown of 60 seconds, but each time Quicksilver uses a speed ability, except for his primary, this timer is lowered by 5 seconds. For Iron Man, he has hacked into Rocket's device, unknowing to Rocket, siphoning some of the power for his own suit. When activating this team-up ability, Iron Man's fly is double the speed for the next 10 seconds, going from 12 meters a second to 24. This does not apply to his normal hover. And it kind of matches both characters. Rocket, well, he'll definitely try to siphon some power. Hell, he tried to take batteries from like one of the strongest planets in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Their name just slipped my mind, but they're like golden people, the same people who made Adam Warlock. He stole batteries from them while they hired him for a job. He'll definitely try to siphon some Quicksilver speed. And Iron Man in Avengers 1, he did the same thing to Shield's tech, placing a device on it and stealing their information. He'll definitely do it to Rocket's tech. This ability for Iron Man also has a cooldown of 60 seconds, but again, each time Quicksilver uses an ability, the timer is lowered by 5 seconds other than his primary attack. As a team-up anchor, Quicksilver gains plus 10% damage. His primary goes from 45 to 49.5, and secondary from 55 to 60.5. A little extra damage, but again, his right clicks, all 3 of them, to use them back to back to back, cannot one-shot people. Now, he has 2 passive abilities alongside everything else. The first being, Quicksilver cannot be slowed, so he cannot receive any slow effects, meaning his own ult, let's say an enemy uses their Quicksilver ult, you will not be affected by that. You are both speedsters, you will match their speed. So, enemy Quicksilver is at their spawn, activates ult, shifts to point. Let's say the only enemy on point is a Quicksilver, it's like your ult isn't even in there. Other than if someone's like almost there and you slow them behind a wall or something like that. That'd be annoying, but still pretty funny. Now, the second being for his passive abilities, when Quicksilver moves, a small blue electrical current follows him, showing up to 3 seconds in the past before disappearing. So for instance, in his shift ability, if he goes 100 meters, the blue electrical current will show his path he took. So it's not like, oh, how did he appear behind me? You actually know, hey, he got behind me because I see what line he took, where he really came from. and if he went behind me or not. This can really open up counterplay to his speed, to his shift. Now that's all for his character kit right now. I did remove, let's say, an E ability, but that's because I think he is good where he is. A thought I had for his E ability, which was originally his right click, was that he would move left to right in quick succession, which would pretty much give him iframes, and he'll move left and right pretty quickly and everything will miss him because, you know, he's a speedster, but I thought that's a bit too much. Iframes are not good for this game, so I'll just remove that. But yeah, in terms of strength, I would rate him probably a B. He's not going to be very oppressive, but he's not going to be heavily just cannon fodder. He definitely has a niche, but I think he's going to be a decent DPS. Finally, one that isn't severely overtuned. Maybe numbers I'll tweak in the future, maybe here and there, but as is, I think this is a very good baseline for him. Just for instance, with his plus 10% damage in his team up, his damage is 49.5, meaning he can do about 100 damage in a second, since he hits every 0.4 seconds. And again, also, since he has fists, he cannot crit. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this design. Do you think it's balanced, undertuned, overtuned? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next YouTube video. See ya.